The morning sun rose slowly over the endless stretch of dry farmland, painting the earth gold and red. The air smelled of dust, hay, and the quiet sorrow of another long day. Nathan Cole, once a soldier, now a lonely farmer, stood by the old wooden fence, staring at the horizon as if trying to remember what hope used to feel like. He'd seen too much loss in the war, too many faces fading into the dust, and now the silence of his land was his only companion. Until that morning, he heard it first, a faint cry carried by the wind. It wasn't an animal, not the sound of any creature he knew. It was human, weak, desperate. He grabbed his rifle instinctively, his boots crunching on the dirt as he walked toward the sound. The sun was already fierce overhead when he saw her, a woman lying near the old creek bed, her dress torn, her skin bruised, her lips trembling. She was barely conscious. Nathan dropped the rifle instantly and ran to her side. Hey, can you hear me?" he asked, his voice both firm and gentle. The woman's eyelids fluttered open. Her voice was broken, hoarse. "Please, and my pain," she whispered. Nathan froze. Those words cut through him deeper than any bullet ever had. He looked at her, truly looked. Her hair was tangled but beautiful, her eyes deep as the earth itself, and in them was both strength and surrender. She wasn't old, maybe 22 at most, but life had clearly been cruel. "What happened to you?" Nathan asked, placing his coat gently over her shoulders. She winced, trying to move, but her body failed her. They took everything. My family, my home. Her breath hitched. I ran, but they caught me again. I begged for mercy, and now I just want it to stop." Nathan clenched his jaw, fury burning behind his calm eyes. He'd seen this kind of evil before, men who preyed on the weak because no one stopped them. But her words echoed again. "End my pain." He looked down at the rifle still slung over his shoulder, the same rifle that had ended countless lives in the war. But this time, the weight of it felt unbearable. "I can't do that," he said softly. "Not like that." Her eyes flickered with confusion. "Why? You don't even know me." He took a deep breath. "Because I've already ended enough pain with that gun. It's time I start healing some instead." She tried to smile, but a tear rolled down her cheek instead. Nathan carefully lifted her into his arms, her body frail as a feather. "You're safe now," he said. "I promise you that." He carried her all the way back to his farmhouse, every step echoing with memories of the men he couldn't save, the women who cried in the shadows of war. But this one, he could still help. By the time he reached the porch, she was half conscious again. He gently laid her on a clean blanket inside and began tending to her wounds. She had cuts, bruises, and a deep gash on her shoulder that looked days old. As he cleaned it with trembling hands, she flinched. "Sorry," he murmured. "This'll sting a bit." She just nodded, tears forming again. "I don't even know your name." "Nathan," he said. "Just Nathan." She hesitated. "I'm Ilara." He smiled softly. "Ilara, that's a beautiful name." Hours passed. The storm clouds began to gather outside, the light fading into the golden glow of evening. Nathan made her a simple meal, bread, warm milk, and a little stew, and she ate slowly, still weak but grateful. "You didn't have to help me," she whispered. "I did," he replied, "because no one helped me when I needed it." Their eyes met. For a moment, the silence between them wasn't heavy, it was healing. Ilara looked around the small farmhouse, her fingers brushing against the rough wooden table. "It's peaceful here," she said softly. "Feels like the world doesn't reach this far." Nathan nodded. "That's the point." Then, as thunder rolled in the distance, she said something that made him stop breathing for a moment. "They'll come looking for me." Nathan's eyes darkened. "Who?" "The men who did this. They work for someone powerful, someone cruel. They don't let anyone go." Nathan stood slowly, setting down his cup. "Let them come," he said. "This time they'll find someone ready." That night, as the rain began to fall, Ilara lay in the spare bed, her body trembling, not from pain now, but from fear of what might come. Nathan sat by the window, rifle across his lap, staring into the dark fields beyond the rain. Every flash of lightning reminded him of the battlefield. Every drop of rain reminded him of tears long buried. But then he heard her whisper, half asleep. "Thank you for not ending it." Nathan looked back at her, his heart tightening. "No," he murmured, his voice barely audible. "Thank you for giving me a reason to keep going." Outside, the storm raged. But inside that small farmhouse, something new had begun to grow. Something fragile, something pure. Hope. The storm outside had quieted, but Nathan couldn't sleep. The sound of the wind brushing against the window made him tense, every instinct warning him that peace never lasted long out here. Ilara stirred restlessly in the next room. Even in sleep, she seemed haunted by memories she couldn't escape. Nathan rose quietly from his chair, the firelight flickering across his scarred face, and checked his rifle once more. He had built this house with his own hands, hoping it would be a place where no more blood would be spilled. But he knew deep down that fate didn't care about hope. Just as he was about to sit back down, he heard it, faint, distant, but unmistakable. Hooves. More than one. Nathan's heart sank. He moved to the window, the dim lantern light barely illuminating the open field. 3 riders, maybe 4, coming slow, their silhouettes black against the rolling lightning in the distance. He grabbed his coat and quietly stepped into Ilara's room. She was awake, eyes wide, frightened, already knowing what was coming. "They found me," she whispered, voice trembling. Nathan nodded grimly. "Then they'll find me too. But they won't take you again." Ilara tried to sit up, wincing as pain shot through her shoulder. "You don't understand, Nathan. These aren't just men. They're killers. They work for the man who owns half this territory. I don't care who he is," Nathan said firmly, chambering around. "This is my land now, and no one takes what's under my roof." She grabbed his arm. "Please, you can still run." He looked at her, and for a brief moment, something in his expression softened. "I ran once. Never again." The riders reached the gate minutes later. Nathan stepped out into the rain, rifle in hand, the wind whipping his coat around him. The leader dismounted. A tall man with a scar that cut from his lip to his jaw, eyes sharp as a knife's edge. "Well, well," the man drawled. "Didn't expect a farmer to be keeping our runaway." Nathan said nothing. "She's ours," the man continued. "Belongs to the one who paid for her. You hand her over and we'll let you live." Nathan's jaw tightened. "She doesn't belong to anyone," the man chuckled, glancing back at his men. "You hear that, boys? The farmer thinks he's a hero." He turned back, smirking. "Be careful, hero. Women like her have a way of bringing trouble." Nathan raised his rifle slowly. "Leave now." The man's grin vanished. "Shoot me, and you'll have more than rain on your roof tonight." Nathan's finger hovered near the trigger. But before he could speak, Ilara appeared in the doorway behind him, wrapped in a blanket, shivering but standing tall. "Stop!" she shouted, her voice cutting through the rain. "If you want me, take me. Leave him out of it." Nathan turned sharply. "Ilara," she shook her head, tears mixing with rain. "I can't let more people die because of me." The scarred man smiled. "Smart girl." Nathan's heart pounded. Every instinct screamed to protect her, but before he could move, Ilara stepped into the mud, walking toward the men, slow, deliberate, every step heavy with resignation. Then Nathan noticed something. Around her neck, beneath the blanket, glimmered a small silver pendant. The lightning flashed, and Nathan saw the mark engraved on it. A crest. An Apache tribal insignia. His eyes widened. He had seen that mark once before, during the war. It was the symbol of the chief's bloodline. He whispered under his breath, "Ilara, who are you?" The riders reached for her arms, ready to drag her away. That was the moment Nathan's past came roaring back. The smoke, the gunfire, the helpless cries he swore he'd never hear again. He fired. The first man dropped before his hand even touched her. The second turned, shouting, but Nathan was already reloading, his movements quick, precise. Years of buried training came alive again. Ilara fell to her knees, covering her ears as thunder and gunfire became one. When the smoke cleared, 3 riders lay still in the mud. The leader, bleeding, furious, crawled toward his horse. Nathan grabbed him by the collar and slammed him against the fence post. "Who sent you?" he demanded. The man spat blood. "You'll find out soon enough, farmer. You just declared war on a man richer than God himself." Nathan's grip tightened. "Tell me his name." The man laughed weakly. "You already know it." And then his head fell limp. Ilara stumbled forward, trembling. "Nathan, what have you done?" He turned to her, breathing hard. "Saved you again." She shook her head. "No, you don't understand. The man they serve, he's not just a rancher or a lord. He's my betrothed, my captor, the one my people traded me to after the war. I escaped him once, but now he'll come himself." Nathan looked at her, the pain in her eyes, the scars that told a story too cruel to imagine, and something fierce and unbreakable settled inside him. "Then he'll find out what happens when he tries to take something I've already sworn to protect." Ilara's eyes filled with tears. "Why would you risk your life for me?" "Ah,